Hey everyone, welcome to today's video where we'll be installing the flywheel, clutch, and transmission onto our motor. Let's get started. Now we're looking at the back of the motor here, but a quick note before we get started. All the hardware we're going to be using today is brand new. And that's because all this hardware is single use only. And that's both the hardware for the flywheel and the pressure plates. So all these bolts should be brand new when you're reinstalling. So the first thing we'll install is the flywheel, which in my case is the 034 Motorsports lightweight aluminum flywheel. And the install of the flywheel can be a little finicky. And that's because there is a slight distance variance between all the bolts here on the flywheel, as well as all the bolts on the flange. So you have to match this up perfectly. It's almost as if the flywheel was keyed, but there's no indication of where that key is. So the best way to install this is to place the flywheel on. And you'll know you'll have it when it matches up that flange. And what you'll do is look into the top hole here, match it up so that it matches the hole on the flange, and then you'll go ahead and thread in your first bolt. Now once you have that first bolt threaded and it catches a few threads, it's time to look into the rest of the holes here on the flywheel. Helps to use a flashlight for this. So what we'll do here is look into the holes, and you want to make sure that the bolts on the flange and the flywheel match up perfectly. And I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see here that this hole goes straight through into the rear of the flange on the motor. So that means it's lined up perfectly. As we rotate the flywheel, you'll see that some of them actually don't line up perfectly, like the one we have here. And there's a little bit of a lip shown where the flywheel hole and the hole on the flange do not match. What this means is we'll have to back out this top bolt here, rotate the flywheel one over, screw in that top bolt, and then re-look at all these holes again to make sure they all match up perfectly. Once you do that, you can go ahead and thread in the rest of the flywheel bolts. Once you've given this a few tries and you found the perfect spot for the flywheel, go ahead and thread in the rest of the bolts. As you're threading them in, the bolts should have very little resistance. If you have any resistance from any of the bolts, stop. That means you're not lined up correctly, and you'll have to keep spinning this flywheel until you get the correct orientation. Now that all the bolts are threaded in, we'll break out the torque wrench and begin the torquing sequence for the flywheel bolts. The first step is to tighten all the bolts down to 60 Newton meters, which is about 44 foot-pounds. And as you saw there, our flywheel is starting to turn, so we're gonna have to find a way to keep it in place. So the best way to stop our flywheel from moving is to stop the crank from moving. And the easiest and safest way to do that is to use our crank lock pin. So we'll head here to the driver's side of the motor, right behind the AC compressor, and remove the plug for our crank lock pin and install the pin. Now I went ahead and installed my crank lock pin, which immobilizes the crank, which in turn immobilizes the flywheel here so I don't have any issues while I'm torquing it down. Now, if you by any chance don't have access to your crank lock pin location or don't own a crank lock pin, my first word of advice is to definitely get one. But if you don't, there are two other ways you can go ahead and immobilize your crank and then go ahead and immobilize your flywheel. So number one is to go up front where the crank bolt is and put a 24 millimeter on there. And that way you can hold or have someone hold it down while you go ahead and crank on this side. That would be very difficult because that means you and the other person up front holding the 24 millimeter would have to match the amount of pressure you're putting down, so that way none of you rock back and forth. The second way is to use a very long and strong pry bar or a short screwdriver. And the two ways to do this is to use a short screwdriver, and you can go ahead and if your motor is resting on something, you can jam the screwdriver in between the flywheel, so you'll see the notches here on the flywheel and whatever it's resting on. And once you jam that in, it'll stop the flywheel from moving. Or you can use a long pry bar and sneak the pry bar through the side here under your exhaust manifold and here into one of the teeth for the flywheel, or again into one of these metal notches here. The only downfall to both of these is that you can cause damage to your flywheel while doing this. So I definitely recommend you go ahead and invest in a crank lock pin if you're doing this job. Now we'll go ahead and finish torquing everything up. Once you have all the bolts torqued down to 60 Newton meters, the next step is to mark every one of these bolts. So you can see here we have some old marks, and I went ahead and marked all the new bolts with blue to avoid any confusion with the old black mark. But I tried to mark every bolt here vertically, and the reason I marked each one of them is because we're gonna have to turn each one of these bolts 90 degrees over. So having a marking point will allow us to better read where that 90-degree turn is. Now, once we have all these bolts marked, we can go ahead and break out the breaker bar to finish that 90-degree turn. Now, before we go ahead and finish these turns, I had to mention one thing to you guys. The Audi Bentley manual calls for these bolts to be turned 180 degrees once you torque them down to 60 Newton meters. During my first install of this flywheel, I found it almost impossible to get to those 180 degrees. And I ran the car 3,000 miles with these bolts turned only 90 degrees and had no issues. I've also spoken to a few people on forums and Facebook groups, and none have had issues with turning their bolts 90 degrees because they found the same issue I did, and that is that turning these more than those 90 degrees is damn near impossible. Now that you've sweat, busted a knuckle, and maybe even fallen trying to get these over 90 degrees, we're all set with the flywheel install, and we'll continue with installing the clutch and then the pressure plate. Now for the pressure plate install, which is super easy, but we still need a tool to install it. And what we need is this clutch alignment tool. So this is clutch alignment tool number 36. I got this off of Amazon. It says Audi 36 on there. Pretty sure you can just search that and you'll get this tool. It's super cheap. I think it was like $9. So the way to use it is you go ahead and feed this through the clutch, and it has the same exact amount of teeth and the same size teeth as our output shaft from the transmission. So it mates up perfectly with the clutch. Another thing to notice is that there is a flywheel side and a pressure plate side for the clutch. Usually that's on a little sticker here, so you'll see this says FW side, which means flywheel side, but usually the flatter side of the clutch goes towards the flywheel, and the side that bulges out a bit is the pressure plate side. So we'll go ahead and take the flywheel side, put it onto the flywheel, and then we'll go ahead and install this clutch alignment tool. So what that'll do is engage the pilot bearing inside of the flywheel and also engage all the teeth on this clutch to line it up perfectly so our clutch doesn't sag. And the last thing we need here is our pressure plate. So we'll go ahead and slide the pressure plate on. You'll see that there's a few guide pins all around the flywheel. So we'll go ahead and match those up. Next, we'll grab our 6 pressure plate bolts, and remember, these have to be replaced after every time you remove them. So these only get torqued down to 20 Newton meters. So for peace of mind, I like to add just a little bit of Loctite to these to make sure they never back out. Once you have all the bolts threaded in, we'll go ahead and snug them all up and then torque them all down to 20 Newton meters. And that's the end of that. We have our flywheel, clutch, and pressure plate correctly installed. Now we'll move on to the transmission. By the way, don't forget to remove the crank lock pin and install the plug. Now, when you're installing the transmission is when things get really interesting. Now, the first thing we have to make sure is that the transmission and the engine are at the same level. So you see here, we have them both on tires, which are resting on wooden dollies for mobility. You do have to be able to move them because you have to bring them together. So one of the pieces can be stationary. Usually it's better if the motor is stationary and not movable, but the transmission is, so that way you can rotate it and bring it into the direction of the motor. Now, once you have one or both of the pieces able to be moved around, there's 2 other things that we need in order to install the transmission. Number 1 is replace your throwout bearing. This one is fairly new and there's no noise to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep it, but replacing the throwout bearing is a good idea anytime you have your transmission out, because again, this is one of those parts that's very tough to get to once the engine's in. So you either have to remove the transmission or pull the whole engine out with the trans to get to this piece. The next thing you have to do is grease up all the moving components in here. So one thing I like to grease up is this little bit of the input shaft here, because that rides on the pilot bearing, and also the back of the dome here, which is where your slave cylinder puts pressure. So I like to grease those up just to, remove any extra friction. Now, once we have everything prepped and everything we need to replace, we'll grab this, which is our bell housing spacer, and we'll throw it on the back of the motor here. Now, when you're installing this, You're gonna use your starter and this pin here as your guide so that you install it correctly. So you have the dome here around the starter, and then this pin goes into the centering hole here, and you're all set. So to get the transmission installed, we have to make sure that when all these holes surrounding here in the bell housing have to line up to the holes on the block, and we also have to make sure that the input shaft here matches into the pilot bearing and also the clutch. This is why we used that clutch alignment tool earlier, to make sure that our clutch was centered with the pilot bearing, so that this shaft here would center perfectly with both the flywheel and the clutch. So on the tail end of the transmission, we installed one of the bolts that holds the drive shaft, and we did this so that we can gain leverage and turn the rear of the transmission. Turning the rear of the transmission also turns the input shaft in this case, and turning the input shaft will help us line up the splines on the input shaft to the splines on the clutch. Now once we have all the prep done, it's time to get started. So we'll go ahead and push the trans over and try to match everything up perfectly. And now you'll feel that first bit of engagement there once the input shaft slides to where it's supposed to be with the pilot bearing. This is where you start to push a bit, just to make sure everything engages. And if you're pushing and nothing's engaging, you can go ahead and just, if your motor's stationary, you can just push a little harder. If not, hold onto the motor and push the transmission into it. If you see that this is still not working, this is when you go ahead and grab that bolt near the end that I showed you earlier and spin it slightly. And that's hopefully to rotate that input shaft a bit and get it to match up with our clutch. And then just go ahead and push and wiggle until you get everything lined up correctly. And then just one thing to let you know, you never want to go ahead and put in bolts and try to pull everything together. You can cause severe damage to the trans, the input shaft, your clutch, your flywheel, and a bunch of other components this way, so make sure you don't do that. Just be patient and keep pushing and slightly turning this input shaft, so that way you can line it up correctly. Okay, so I finally got the transmission mated to the engine, and it was actually pretty difficult. I'll show you what I did. So I actually switched up the whole way I was holding the transmission up so that I can mate it to the engine. Before I had it on this wheel and dolly here that kept it mobile for me, but that had it a little too high. So then I moved it over to the jack to make it a little more adjustable. I actually just needed it to be down an inch or two, but there was no way I was getting that from the tire, of course. So the jack helped me out here. I have a couple planks of wood at the bottom of the jack holding the transmission up, because there is no perfectly flat surface for you to put the jack to. But once we got it on the jack, we came over to the trans, and here it's all mated up. But what I did really was just roll it in once you had it on the jack, and then you'd have to go ahead and wiggle it side to side, up and down, so that you'd find that pilot bearing in the flywheel. Once you get in there, you're all set, but that's the issue. To get to that pilot bearing, you have to take the splines on the input shaft of the transmission and mate them perfectly to the splines on the clutch. And that's the most difficult part about this. That's why it's beneficial to have a bolt like this one at the back here, so you can go ahead and rotate everything. So that way you could adjust the way those splines are facing and hopefully help you mate the transmission. But once you got everything mated up, you can go ahead and grab the bolts and start feeding them through in their respective locations and tightening them down. Also, just a quick tip, whenever you do this, your slave cylinder will more than likely start leaking. So just put a rag or something around there, because this fluid is very corrosive. You don't want it getting on your shoes or anything. So I just stuff a rag in there, it'll hold the drips. All right, so we're all done. A couple things you should remember when you're trying to do this is definitely don't try to force anything in. Starting with the flywheel bolts, again, remember you might have to shift those a couple bolt holes over because it only mates one way. Remember not to try to force any of those bolts in, because you might cross thread them. And then moving on to the transmission, definitely don't try to push or pull your transmission onto the motor by installing the bolts and trying to turn them and tighten them up. That could cause a lot of damage with your input shaft and maybe even your clutch or your pilot bearing. So make sure you don't do that. It takes a lot of patience to get this done. It's not really difficult, it's more of a tedious process. So just take your time, be patient, and it's going to take a lot of up and down movement and trying to balance the transmission correctly so that you made it exactly correct with that clutch and that pilot bearing. Alright, so I hope you all learned something from this video. If you want to keep up with the day-to-day updates, make sure you follow me on Instagram here. See you guys in the next one. Peace.